In order to evolve, we must devolve. We must be comfortable with owning all of the aspects, light and dark, light and shadow of ourselves. Shadow selves are not dark or evil, they're simply the polarity to the light side. Both are absolutely necessary, and both are necessary in your present life. The idea is not to eliminate or suppress the shadow. It's part of who you are, and it's a beautiful part of who you are. So today, I just wanted to use an example of how to bless something that no longer serves you without suppression, without torching it, without vilifying it. So, when I was younger, one of the things that I really valued about myself was my sense of passion and immediacy. So if a relationship, if a instance, if a moment didn't have either exaltation and ecstasy, or even complete devastation, it was devoid of meaning. Where my pendulum needed to swing all the way from side to side to get those hits of what I felt was really true. Because you don't hide who you are in the middle of a fit of ecstasy or um, devastation. And I honor that because it was me looking for an outlet for my power and enjoying intensity, because I am intense. And I so honor like that thirst, right? The thirst that normalcy, what was considered normalcy, didn't hold any allure for me, that I looked for an edge, that I always looked for an edge. When I was younger, though, the edge was histrionics. It was drowning yourself in the story. It was using the dramatics of details of your story to completely immerse myself in and get a hit. No judgment. It was actually a quite ingenious way to start to try to tap into something that I knew was there without having the slightest bit of tools. So interesting that that's how I chose to kind of try to start to tap into those kinds of examinations. Come to today, through daily work and process, I now understand so much more deeply that the swing in the pendulum, the more it can stay not totally in the center, because there is no perfection. We're always going to swing. Stories are always going to have a pull on us. But the closer and the shorter the range of the pendulum in the swing, the deeper we can go into that still point where the real, true lessons of our essence emanate. It's where your self before societal formation happened. And that is the true you. And to bring those lessons forth that are pure and that don't have the taint of story, you need to be able to sit in the middle. And only in the middle is where you can go deep. You may think you're going deep in the extremes, you're not. That's the trick, is that because you feel extreme emotion, you mix that up with feeling profound truth, because it feels profound. How can it not be true if you're so moved? But what I suggest to you is the real core truth has a little more gravity. It's not as dramatic, and it's quieter. It's internal, not external. So, in a kind of ritualistic fashion, I honor and give great gratitude to my young self for trying experiments to get underneath the surface of things. Like the surface of things always irritated me. Like, oh, what we look like, what everyone thinks we are. I'm more than what I look like, and especially since I dress like a fucking maniac. Um, but again, it was an honest attempt at trying to pry open the hood of my engine. And so I so appreciate the effort, the very honest inquiry to probably the most artificial parts of true inquiry. I didn't know. How would I possibly know? I was a teenager, right? But I so honor that quest, right? Because it's that seeker that I still have that just has more tools. I'm still digging in the same like the hood is now pried open a little bit more. We're all going to keep searching continually. But there's a couple things that I did learn that I'm just going to put in here as well. Instead of operating only from my own experience, which is still my filter, because I'm so body oriented and I feel things somatically through my body first to really integrate them, I understand that I need to kind of initiate it through my personal experience, so before I can take the larger view. That's still true for me, and that's okay. That is my nature. I am a body-centric person. Some people learn better through meditation first. If I don't use my body first, I can't sink into meditation properly. So it's all whatever it works for you the best. But the other thing what I really wanted to kind of get to is that now I have enough tools in my tool belt to understand that I need to then contextualize these lessons and put them in a place where I'm bringing in much more than my own story. You have to start with your own story, or else you're always going to be stuck in the ego lie, right? So you have to do that work to get into your body, to get into your story. But once you have mastered enough tools and told enough truth and spent enough time in the pit, really sitting with the shadows, and then slowly beginning to be able to compassionately love yourself there, and it's not an overnight journey. Once you have those tools, now you need to invite source. And then you need to elevate your journey so you're part of the whole galactic story. That's the only way that we as a human people are going to evolve. But you have to start somewhere. And I'm inviting you to get started wherever you are. Keep going. Take the first step, take the 10th step, take the 1,000th step. Keep going. But don't forget to thank where you came from. It was necessary. I wouldn't be here if I didn't do that. I wouldn't be here if I didn't go through all of those lessons, and some were close to the edge. And like my teenage self that looked for that edge, I still look for that edge. It's just in a different context and far less self-harming, far more beneficial. So that is what I invite you to investigate today. Where's a part of your former self that you could thank for its service? Because even the most things that you cringe a little bit at, you shake your head a little bit at, hopefully you no longer feel shame about them, but maybe that does come up for you. You would not be sitting in this seat right here without it. You wouldn't be. And if it was a really tough, almost life-ending lesson, it just shows how strong you are today. And that you're still overcoming. and you're still opening up. And I bless that effort today. And I will see you tomorrow.